The town of Hollowbrook had always been a quiet place, nestled between dense forests and a sprawling lake. But recently, an eerie silence had settled, one that seemed to mute even the chirping of the birds. Rumors began to spread about figures seen wandering the woods at night. They moved with an unnatural gait, their silhouettes barely discernible in the moonlight. Anna, a local journalist, decided to investigate the strange occurrences. She had grown up hearing tales of the old asylum that once stood in the forest and wondered if there was a connection. One evening, she ventured into the woods, armed with a flashlight and a voice recorder. The trees seemed to close in around her, their shadows dancing menacingly as the wind rustled the leaves. As she approached the rumored location of the old asylum, she heard a faint whisper. It was a chorus of voices, murmuring unintelligibly, growing louder with each step she took. Anna pressed the record button on her device, hoping to capture the eerie sounds. But as soon as she did, the whispers ceased, replaced by an oppressive silence. She continued her journey, finding the remnants of the asylum. Its walls were covered in moss and vines, and its windows were shattered, giving it a skeletal appearance. Inside, the air was thick with dust and decay. Anna's flashlight beam revealed old patient records scattered on the floor, their contents faded but still legible. One record caught her eye. It mentioned a patient named Elias, who was admitted for hearing persistent voices. The notes described his increasing paranoia and eventual disappearance from the facility. Anna felt a cold breeze on her neck and turned around. There, standing in the doorway, was a figure with hollow eyes and a gaunt face. It whispered, "Elias." Frozen in fear, Anna watched as more figures emerged from the shadows, each whispering the name Elias in a haunting chorus. She tried to flee, but her legs wouldn't move. The figures closed in, their whispers growing louder and more insistent. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the asylum. The figures turned their attention to the source of the noise, giving Anna a chance to escape. She ran through the forest, the whispers still echoing in her ears. The trees seemed to reach out for her, their branches like gnarled hands, trying to pull her back. Finally, she reached the edge of the woods and stumbled into Hollowbrook. The town was eerily quiet, with no sign of life. The only sound was the distant whispering from the forest. Anna tried to warn the townspeople, but no one would listen. They dismissed her tales as mere hallucinations or the result of too much stress. Determined to find answers, Anna began researching the history of the asylum. She discovered that Elias had been a doctor there, obsessed with finding a cure for schizophrenia. His experiments were controversial and involved subjecting patients to extreme sensory deprivation. Many believed that he had summoned something dark and malevolent in the process. One night, the asylum was consumed by a mysterious fire. Elias and several patients were never found, and the facility was abandoned. Anna realized that the figures in the forest were the lost souls of the asylum, forever trapped between worlds, with Elias as their tormented leader. She decided to confront Elias and free the trapped souls. Armed with old rituals and incantations, she returned to the forest on a moonless night. The whispers guided her to the heart of the woods, where she found a clearing. In the center stood Elias, his form more monstrous and twisted than before. Anna began reciting the incantations, her voice firm and unwavering. The air grew cold, and the ground trembled beneath her feet. Elias let out a guttural scream, and the forest was filled with the cries of the lost souls. They circled Anna, their whispers now pleas for release. With a final shout, Anna completed the ritual. A blinding light enveloped the clearing, and when it faded, Elias and the lost souls were gone. The oppressive silence that had plagued Hollowbrook lifted. Birds sang once more, and the townspeople went about their lives, oblivious to the horrors that had transpired. Anna, however, could never forget. She left Hollowbrook, seeking solace in distant lands, but the whispers from the void forever haunted her dreams. Years later, a new family moved into Hollowbrook. They were drawn to the beauty of the forest and the serenity of the lake. But as night fell, they heard faint whispers coming from the woods. Curious, they ventured deeper into the forest, guided by the haunting chorus. And so the cycle began anew, with the echoes of the forsaken forever calling out from the void.